as Natalie was saying earlier, that we want to help international students integrate into this American classroom and enhance the understanding between the domestic student and international student. So I think the first step will be understanding the cultural difference between different cultural values and the different communication styles. And there's just 3 points I would like to hit today. The first one is individualism versus collectivism. So what does that mean is, for a country like the United States, which is #1, the most individualist country around the globe, and that was done by research by this Dutch scholar who is like really influential, the most influential figure in this cross-culture field. And it's just some numbers. So people from very individualist society, they cherish values such like independence, freedom. And for people from collective society, they cherish values like interdependency and harmony. So when it comes to communication, for individualist society, everyone have their own goals when it comes to communication. So they use explicit meaning of the word to send a message, and which is great because it makes it very easy for people to understand. No matter where you're from, you just say it and people got it. However, that's not the case for people from collective society. They use lots of body language, they use lots of culture reference to get a message across. They don't think everything needs to be stated in order for you to understand it. And it's like really different. And as you can see from this culture individualism index, like for United States, like the top one, and along with other English-speaking countries like Australia, Canada, and such. Then moved down to Europe. I know many of you guys have studied abroad somewhere before, and hopefully that will make sense to you when you interact with local from people that is different from your original country. So it's France and Spain, like European country. Then it moved down to Southeast Asia countries, such like China, Thailand, and such. So, okay. Yeah, and that brings me to the next point of communication styles. And the reason it's so different is because people have different goals when it comes to communication. For individualism society, they are more direct and they use low context when it comes to communication. It's just more like giving and taking information. You throw stuff at each other, you get more information, you're done. And you cherish like you want to know the truth and you want to get the value behind it. You don't want ambiguous answers. You want to know what you're talking about, and let's move forward. And which is a really great thing, especially in a team dynamic, because I know we all have lots of group projects and we really don't have that time to do the communication. We want to get the work done so we can move on other class and do all kinds of fun stuff, right? So, and however, for people from collective society, it's really indirect. They use lots of context to deliver the message. And the goal of their communication style is to preserve the relationship. So what does that mean is when you're group with someone from collective culture, they actually want to be your friend first to establish some sort of relationship before they can feel very freely express their own opinion. But it's a great way to like have some relationship going on, but like it's really time consuming. And then most time, especially in this program, like accounting program, it's like really stressful. You have lots of coursework. You don't have that much time to listen to their story. You just want to get it done. So it's a little bit inefficient in terms of how we get the work done. So the reason is because they really cherish value like harmony, and they want to save face. They don't want to sound rude, and they just really emphasize on this group thinking. And one example that I have been keep hearing is whenever there's an international student doing a group project with some other domestic student, all the domestic students think that they're just being so quiet. They're not telling me anything. They just keep there, look pretty, and smile sometimes, but not saying much. And especially when everyone's trying to make a decision for the whole group, they still not saying much. And from the domestics' point of view, they'll say, okay, you're not saying much. I assume everything is fine with you, because if you disagree with me, you would have said something, right? However, that's not the case. And most of the most of international students just, even though they really strongly disagree with what you just said, they feel reluctant to express that feeling because they want to keep the harmony going on. They don't want to break the whole team thinking stuff by saying, okay, I disagree with you. It's just to them, it's like destroying the relationship. So, and I know it's like really frustrating, like, okay, so they're not telling me they don't agree with me, and how am I supposed to know? So one thing I find out personally, kind of watch their body language. Whenever you're trying to ask them some question, they're not saying anything, they most likely doing something like this. Or like, look around, just try to avoid eye contact with you. Because like, they just don't feel comfortable doing that. So whenever they did that, it means like they disagree with whatever you just said. So that's just one way how I interpret that, and I hope that will be helpful for other people. Yes, and one of example in terms of communication, how they speak the language, is, for example, if I'm gonna ask Nadia, I'll be like, hey, won't you like to go to the movie? I know it sounds really weird, but like it's just the way people speak. They don't express their like direct feeling. They want to keep the harmony, just in case you say no. It'd be like, oh, I don't want to go either. See, that would be the second. Would you like to go to movies? Versus to be like, I would like to go to the movie. What about you? You say no. You turn me down. So that's kind of the way how most indirect and high context people will communicate. And the second one just kind of reinforced the idea. I don't think it's good, and I suppose that's not good. It still can be good if you exist. So that's kind of thing going on. And I would just kind of wrap up everything I just said. Does people from individualist society focus on direct and low context communication style versus most international students coming from collective society? They focus on indirect and high context communication style, which conclude my part, and I guess we're open to any question you guys want to have.